Hello, all, and welcome to the sixth episode of Agile Amplified. This is your host, Vijay. As a project manager, most times during execution phase, our focus is on the process. Should I follow traditional approach, waterfall, agile, or a hybrid approach? What should I follow? This is most times the questions that the project managers come up with. And as a leaders, we are expected to answer. Well, that's what we will be discussing today. How do I, as a PM, enable my team to deliver with an agile mindset as a project leader? Today, I have with me a very special guest all the way from Lebanon, Yara Fadlallah, who is the project leader and a coach who spent a lot of years coaching young project managers to become agile experts. Yara, thank you so much for accepting my invite and being on the show.
Hello, Vijay. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you about building that agile mindset for project leaders. Let me start off, by asking you this particular question that I've been having on my mind for a long time. Why should we move from traditional to agile project?
Okay, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about me. I come from a non-technical background. So during my years of experience in the consultancy firm or consultancy industry, I faced a lot of problem with a particular mindset. So we can use different approaches, but what I see today in a VUCA world, so let's just tell what it means: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. In a fast changing world, the best fit for a mindset is the agile mindset. And what do I mean by agile mindset? Is we tend to towards a learning spirit, collaboration and teamwork, empowerment and motivation, and focusing on the customer. This is basically how we navigate into the agile mindset.
That's interesting. You did mention about you being from a non-technical background. As someone who spent years on the technical background, I know how agile works in a technical environment. But then I'd like to post you this question: Can agile be utilized across industry?
Interestingly, it was basically just for software, and we all know that. But today, no, it's really spreading across many industries. I'm not going to generalize things, but I can tell you about my experience. So we used to follow a very predictive project management, and you know what I mean. So no customer at first, team aren't really engaged, and the project is going to take all the time that it has, and then we're going to show it to a customer. So what happened with me with two projects is a massive failure. By the way, all the processes were right. We really met the scope, the deadline, everything. But at the end, after 6 months, the customer just told us that this is not what I want. And when you talk about business intelligence, so processes and departments were mapped. So this was a shock. Why? And it was a major failure. We didn't understand back then what happened. We just assumed, and this is something wrong also, that the customer doesn't know what he wants or what she wants. So the second major failure also, we had a marketing project, and the same thing happened. So I said, enough, guys. We should be failing fast, not slowly. There's something wrong with it. So this is how we were introduced to the agile mindset, and the transformation began within my team. So for a non-tech person, trust me, the agile mindset is very, very important, even in our day-to-day work. I think you can relate to that.
Absolutely. I mean, you talked about a lot of things here. You talked about failing fast and learning from them. You talked
Yeah,
about how important customer feedback is. I think in a span of
absolutely.
6 months, if you're following a traditional approach, your solution could become completely irrelevant to the market conditions. We've been seeing the kind of speed at which the market is growing these days. What it also
Exactly.
tells us is with all these Gen AI capabilities coming in, the market is evolving quicker. How do we,
Very.
as project leaders, solve this? How do we, as project leaders, enable our team to stay relevant to the market, at the same time provide value to our customers? And I think that is where the introduction of agile into various industries have come into picture. And like you mentioned, you being from a non-tech background could still also follow agile and bring that mindset to a team that you work with. Let me ask you this question: getting this agile mindset to a non-tech team is definitely not going to be easy a job, because they're used to working within a specific mindset, a frame of mind, and it's not going to be easy, and you might have to face a lot of resistance when it comes to changing them. How do you
Absolutely.
deal with this resistance to change? I know I keep asking a lot of scrum masters, project managers are the same question. How do you deal with the resistance to change? Because you, as a project manager, whenever you step into any project, the first thing that you're going to have is resistance. It's either going to be a resistance from your senior stakeholders, or is it going to be a resistance from your internal team? But one common factor is people are not going to be very open to changing the way that they've been operating all this while. So, you as a project leader, how do you start off bringing that agile mindset to your own team?
Okay, so as you said, and this is so true, you face resistance from customer, from team, and especially when you are in a transformational change, resistance is all in front of you from different sides, as you said. But this is where the leadership skills take part. So if I want to talk about my experience within this transformation, I have a mental model I will be sharing with you. But the first, what happened after two failure, by the way, there's a myth that we should really focus on as a project managers, project leaders, agile, in this industry. People always look at us as a superhuman, as we do not fail. No, please, we do fail. We are trying to do our work best, but we really do fail. So this is something that was shocking. Okay, two projects that failed. I was like, we should look into things. So I went to my team. My team was burned out, by the way. So I went to them and I, guys, we have a serious problem. We have a pain point. We have to identify them. And this is what happened. We had a brainstorming session to identify the pain point. And in this particular part, I knew that agile mindset was the best. So I had to introduce it. When I said we will be transforming into a agile mindset, resistance took place. But the key in it is to keep communicating about it, is to understand, okay, people fear, my team members fear. No, why? We've been doing for a long time this. So we face resistance. But here is, I'm going to give you my tricks. Okay, so guys, are you ready to know my tricks, the mental model that I followed?
I'm absolutely ready. And I think our listeners as well, because they are used to hearing new things from our guests. And there you go, mental model for us listeners specifically.
My mental model is divided into five steps. Okay, so the first step is communication and collaboration. Building rapport and trust is very, very crucial. So what I mean by that? So we are introducing a change within my team members. So what I had to do is just to emphasize. I introduced the agile mindset to them, but we had to dig deeper to research more about it. And this what happened, because the first question will be, what's in for us? Why would we be moving to this mindset? So we have to show them that there should be a roadmap. Of course, we don't have all the answers, but at least we have a roadmap. Why are we doing this? By when we will be reaching this? And this is how things happen. Emphasize. Seriously, I really encourage people when there's any transformation, especially into agile, emphasize with your teamwork, with your team members, and also with your customers, by the way. But since the focus is on team, emphasize, listen to their questions, to their concern, ask questions, support them, and keep everyone aligned and aware. So, what is agile? Why we should move into it? Why we should fail faster than at the end? So these are all crucial. Of course, it took time, and it was not that easy, but it was worth eventually. The more you are closer to your team members, the better you can achieve this.
I think one interesting point that you made was on the roadmap part. This kind of increases the transparency between you and the team and also the customers. Now,
Yeah,
everyone is on the same page on what is expected to be delivered and what can be delivered. We all
yeah,
agree to what can be delivered. We all put together our minds and then try to figure out what exactly can be delivered. And that is what gets in as a roadmap. And then we break it into milestones and sprint goals and deliver it iteratively. But then it's an agreement between the customers, be it your business stakeholders and your team themselves on what is going to be delivered. I think that transparency and having a common understanding between every stakeholder involved, both internal and external, goes a long way in people to figure out their position on the team.
yes. Roles and responsibilities is really important, and also from the customer part. So the third project that we had, we were lucky to have a customer that was willing to go through this transformation with us. So we sat with them and we were like, guys, we are going to use a different approach, which is the agile. Of course, we explain it and introduce it. And we told them that we will be delivering features or mini projects. We're going to get your feedback on it, so we will deliver value fast. At first, we got a little bit of resistance, but when they saw value, they were so aligned with us. This is from the customer's part. So this is, it's really important, transparency and trust, and building a relationship is really crucial, especially in this phase. My second step was empowering and flexibility, and I know you love this part. Agile people love this part, empowerment and flexibility. So yeah, on the team, I had to empower them, so so they can share their ideas, they can come up with their creative solution, because you know that team members know their tasks even better than project leaders. So if they come up with what they see best, we can all sit together and discuss it. Empowerment is really, really, really important and crucial.
Most times when I talk to project managers, I keep telling them, you are an expert in project management field, but
Yes,
you might not be an expert in everything that is going on within the project. You are
absolutely.
building a cross functional team for a reason, because you're bringing in experts from multiple industries, multiple fields. And these guys who are experts in their relevant field need to be respected for who they are. And that is where empowering comes into picture. You respect
Totally.
them and you ask them those questions. And that's when they'll be able to open up and they'll be able to tell you what exactly works and what won't work. And then you hear and make an informed decision. And if it's a consulting project, then you also let your business stakeholders know, because there's an expert talking on that particular topic, because he's been through it, he's seen that around, and then he's making a suggestion which needs to be valued as well. And I think you're talking about that empowering as one of the business, mental models. That makes
Yeah.
absolute sense, because now they would feel more valued and they would want to contribute to the project.
Yeah, they are committed and loyal to it. and they come up with creative ideas. Seriously, I can't tell you how many creative ideas they were able to come up with during our project. So when they have this mindset, I can think of an idea and share it and try it and fail with no punishment or fear. This is so important. So yes, empowerment. This is what makes Agile really excel. I'm sure you can, and you know more than me in this since you are an expert in Agile.
Thank you for that compliment. But yes, I have seen people being creative experts when they are left to their space, when they are being expected to come up with solutions. When we value their ideas, once we show them that we value their ideas, and I think that's where it really starts. The spark really starts, and you could see sequence of ideas coming from them because now they know those values would be respected and those values would be evaluated as well.
Yes, exactly. So the third step after that was, iterate. So instead of a long timeline, we're going to decompose our project into smaller chunks. This is a different hit. So what I've done is introduce the Kanban board. Since we are a non-tech, we introduced Trello as a first step, and then now we use ClickUp since it has many features. Team members are motivated and aligned more. They can see the progress, what we are doing, how we are moving, what has been done. Really, it was such a spark and an energy. Okay, let's do it more. Let's do it fast. We have to be attentive on that because too much motivation might be a hurdle. But this is where we fit as project leaders, to remind people, guys, slow down. Okay, we love the Trello, we love the Kanban, we know how to use it. The sprints and the iterations are very good. We got feedback, take corrective actions, but we have to take things slower.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, from my experience, nothing comes close to the feeling of moving one item from doing to done. As a software developer, if you look into it, yeah, that movement from doing to done gives you that sense of satisfaction when you do it in a Kanban board. I completely agree
Yeah,
with you on how it works with the team as well. They really are happy to do that, moving them from one state to another, visualizing, able to visualize that. The PM tools
exactly.
that you were talking about, Trello, ClickUp, Asana, all these kinds of project management tool helps you do that. And I think those PM tools comes in handy when you're working with a larger team and you're trying to collaborate across multiple regions as well, because now all of them have access to the Kanban board and you could run a stand-up
Exactly.
call, quick 15 minutes call, try to understand where they are, if they're being blocked, and then if you want to step in and resolve the impediment and move forward from then on. And like you also mentioned about the iterations and sprints, and I think that is where you could also show value incrementally to your customers as well, because in traditional approach, after a 6 months timeline, you would go with a completely built solution, but you might have built the foundation wrong, which is
Oh my
not going to be
God.
the case here because you can iteratively uh, build on what the customer is letting you know as feedbacks, failing fast and learning from them, and ensuring that we are able to successfully deliver from then on.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. Because even in iteration, you have a happy customer. When you engage your customer, okay, I showed you a process. No, this is not what I want. Okay, what do you want? Just tell me how you prefer things. When we take the requirement again, you're going to take corrective action and then present it. Oh, this is this one. Okay, let's move on. They are even motivated. They are happy, satisfied with what you are bringing them. They also feel valued. So I always say a project leader scope is his team. So whatever makes them satisfied, do it. Just work with them. So this is basically very critical in this part, iteration and sprint. So moving to the fourth step, is what I love to call mini retrospective, which is about continuous feedback or the feedback loop and continuous improvement. At the first, when we are in a change transformation, like in my case, frequent meetings is really necessary because people do always have questions, they have concerns. So frequent meeting, daily stand-ups is really crucial. Okay, it can be customized based on each team. I understand that. It was really hard to move the mentality from being defensive while giving or receiving feedback and avoiding the blaming mentality into a more of acceptance. Oh, okay. The issue is the problem, not the person is the problem. So I face a little bit of resistance and defensiveness in this particular part, but then we moved on. And I will show you the trick. The trick is be a model, be the role model. To encourage your team to give and receive feedback, start with yourself. Okay, guys, give me feedback. What do you think went well? What have I done right? And I will be giving you also feedback. And this is how we will break this resistance or this fear of feedback.
No, I think you were spot on when you talked about being a role model. Most times, when you're considered to be an agile expert, you are expected to behave a certain way, and people are obviously going to follow you because you are an expert on that particular field. And now it comes to feedback. I've always seen managers getting their feedbacks from their managers, but then they don't go to the team who they work with and
Yeah.
receive feedback from them. The
Yes.
senior manager or your own manager is probably going to tell you about how you can better your result. But your team is going to tell you how you can improve their working condition, which will better the result. That's one important thing that as managers you might have to keep in mind, because now it's not about one way feedback where you receive your feedback just from your managers, but also from your team. So collectively, you can all start developing. But once you start getting feedback from your team will also understand there's nothing wrong in getting feedback from my junior. I'm going to go and start doing that. All that works in positive way because now we've improved that transparency.
Yes. Fostering a culture that is around be able to receive and give feedback is hugely important. And what's going to go wrong? We are human. The idea of humanizing ourselves is really important. Okay, of course I'm going to do mistakes. So if my team members are able to tell me, okay, Yara, look, the problem is this, it's not you. The problem is not me. The problem is with an action or behavior I'm doing. Okay, guys, thank you for telling me. We're going to improve. This is continuous learning. And if we don't take feedback from our team members, trust me, our progress and growth will be hurdled. So this is very important. It took time. It took time, and I've witnessed a lot of meetings that end up in a chaotic situation. But then I was persuaded. We need to find a solution for this. It's not wrong at the end to give and receive feedback. It's not wrong to say I don't know. We can figure out things together. I'm not a magician. I'm just a project leader.
Absolutely. Issue is the problem, not the people. Yeah,
And the
yeah.
final step, and I think it's our best, it's celebrating success. Okay, after a huge effort and deliveries and failures, it's really important to celebrate our small victories, not only the big ones, the small ones. Come on, guys, very good job. People are improving. People are in the transformational change, are being very good. We moved from a level to a level, so success must be celebrated.
You know what? I'm all in for that. Celebrating the smallest of victories, celebrating hard, party hard, at the same time, work hard. Uh,
Yes.
as an agile team, you get to enjoy that a lot. Because let's say in a traditional model, what are you going to celebrate? You're probably going to celebrate the success of the project after 6 months. But with Agile, every single time the customer gives you a feedback, be it positive, be it negative, you learn either or you celebrate. You now know the customer really likes it, which
Yes.
upbrings the mood.
Yes, and creative way. When a team member is able to give a solution, they they will be shocked. Oh my God, it's really me who came up with this solution. Yes, please celebrate it. So we should be able to identify those things when our team members do something new or something important as a part of support and also their growth. So celebrating success is really, really important.
Now, I think these are five very nice mental models that would help any project leader break that resistance to change and
Yes,
ensure that they are moving towards that agile journey. One thing was communication and collaboration. The second was empowering and flexibility. Third one,
yes,
obviously, sprints. Fourth one, we talked about mini retrospective. And the
yes.
final one is to celebrate success. And this mental model is going to be extremely important for the team to progress forward. As a project coach, as a project management coach, you've had enormous experience putting that mental model into practice, I believe. And that is what I think would be the takeaway from this particular podcast episode for our listeners. But before I let you go, I want to understand from you in terms of agile mindset,
Okay.
cultivating that agile mindset. Who are the top people should I be or should our listeners be following when it comes to social media platforms, or where do they get those materials? How do they learn about agile transformation?
Since LinkedIn is really booming and using AI, so now there's a lot of ways you can just search and for articles that are about agile. Okay, once you get there, you're going to see a lot of articles and people contributing under these articles. So just go and pick the most attractive comment, let's say, or you can keep on choosing different people. You go from this account to that account and you're going to find a lot of important and successful agile coaches or project management coaches that talk about specific topic. And you can join, and I encourage people to join groups, project management, agile project management. You're going to learn a lot, and you might be able to add value also, not just receive things. So contribution, I learn from them. Seriously, I check them always. You have top voices in a particular field, project management, agile. Follow these people. They have really great content and up to date. So yes, I really encourage people to do this.
And I think one thing that I would recommend personally for our listeners is to follow Yara Fadlallah as well at LinkedIn. She posts tons of content in LinkedIn, and she's been very active at LinkedIn, along with a few other of our guests in the past, Udit, Harkiran. All of
Yeah.
these guys post tons of content, and they are your knowledge source when it comes to project management. Please, follow them, ensure that you get as much as content from them as possible. One thing that we might also have to understand is that now knowledge is free and out there for us to consume. It really depends on
Absolutely.
what we want to consume. And I think uh, ensuring that we join groups, follow these top content creators, follow these top project management experts on LinkedIn. I think that's a good way to start for anyone who's young and moving into the project management space. But then, thank you so much, Yara, for spending your time with us and sharing your journey in the project management space and letting us know about the mental model that could work wonders and transform traditional projects to agile and cultivating that agile mindset among teams.
I really want to thank you for this fruitful discussion. I really enjoyed it. And I hope our listener will enjoy it as well. Eventually, we are here to add value, to empower people who want to move forward or who are struggling. And by the way, all the content creators that you mentioned are really highly recommended. I follow them personally, and they are really great. And also, you are a very great content creator. You are trying to pick people from different places with different backgrounds and give value to your listeners. So thank you for your efforts as well.
I try my best. Guys, if you like the podcast, if you like this particular episode, give it a thumbs up. You can follow us on LinkedIn. Agile Amplified is the channel name at YouTube. We are across all streaming platforms right now. And this is our sixth episode in for the first season. And it's been a good journey. Thank you so much, Yara. And thank you so much, listeners, for listening patiently to this conversation. Until next time, this is Vijay signing off.